The audio file was 17 minutes long. State investigator Miles Garrett pressed play and listened. Footsteps. Clear. Deliberate. Moving from the front of the trailer to the back. Then silence. Then more footsteps. Different rhythm. Heavier. A second person. Garrett rewound the file. He listened again. 2 sets of footsteps. 2 people walking inside a sealed trailer. But the cargo manifest showed only electronics. No people. And the driver had been alone. The international semi had been found in a storage facility outside of Boise, Idaho. The facility manager was conducting an inventory. He found the truck in Unit 47. It had been sitting for 7 years. He called the police. They ran the VIN. The truck belonged to a driver named Jason Merrill. He had been reported missing in September 2018, 7 years ago. Garrett examined the trailer. The rear doors were sealed. The bolt was engaged. A plastic security seal hung from the latch. The seal was intact, unbroken. The number on the seal matched the number on the cargo manifest. The seal had been installed in Los Angeles on September 12, 2018. It had never been removed. Garrett checked the manifest. The cargo was computer servers, 60 units, destined for a data center in Portland. The shipment never arrived. Garrett opened the seal. He pulled the doors open. The trailer was empty. No servers, no pallets, nothing. Just bare metal walls, and a small black box mounted near the ceiling. Garrett climbed inside. He walked to the box. It was a motion-activated audio recorder, the kind used to monitor cargo theft. Garrett checked the device. It was still powered. The battery was low, but functional. Garrett pressed the playback button. The device held one file, recorded on September 13, 2018, at 2:47 a.m. The 17-minute file with 2 sets of footsteps. Garrett downloaded the file to his laptop. He sent it to a forensic audio lab. The lab analyzed it. They confirmed 2 distinct patterns. Person A walked with a steady gait, approximately 180 pounds. Person B walked heavier, approximately 220 pounds. The lab also detected background sounds, metal scraping, muffled voices, a door opening and closing, but the voices were too faint to make out words. Garrett contacted the freight company Jason had worked for. The company was still in business. The dispatcher remembered Jason. She said he had been hauling the servers from Los Angeles to Portland. His last check-in was September 12th at 8:34 p.m. He said he was stopping for the night at a rest area near Redding, California. He would resume driving at 6 a.m. The dispatcher confirmed. Jason never checked in again. The company filed a missing person report on September 14th. Search teams checked the rest area. They found nothing. Garrett asked if the dispatcher knew about the audio recorder. The dispatcher said yes. The company installed recorders in trailers carrying high-value cargo. The recorders were hidden. They activated when motion was detected inside the trailer. The recordings were uploaded to a cloud server. But the system had a flaw. If the trailer lost power, the upload failed. The recording stayed on the device. The dispatcher said she had never thought to check Jason's trailer. She assumed the recorder had been removed when the truck was towed. Garrett asked for access to the cloud server. The dispatcher provided login credentials. Garrett checked the account. Jason's trailer had uploaded recordings regularly. The last successful upload was September 12th at 6:47 p.m. The recording showed normal sounds. The cargo shifting slightly. Nothing unusual. After that, no uploads. The device had lost connection, or the trailer had lost power. Garrett wondered why. Garrett examined the trailer's power system. The recorder was connected to the trailer's battery. The battery was supposed to hold a charge for weeks, but Garrett tested it. The battery was dead, completely drained. Garrett checked the wiring. Someone had disconnected the alternator. The trailer's battery could not recharge while the truck was moving. That meant after September 12th, the battery slowly drained. By September 13th, it was too low to upload recordings, but the recorder kept working. Using the last bit of power, it recorded the footsteps. Then it shut down. Garrett wondered who disconnected the alternator. He checked the wiring for tool marks. The connector showed scratches. Recent. Someone had tampered with it. But when? Garrett could not tell. He photographed the damage. He sent the images to a mechanic. The mechanic said the connector had been loosened, not fully disconnected, just enough to stop the charge. The mechanic said it would take about 30 seconds. Anyone with basic knowledge could do it. Garrett contacted Jason's family. His wife said Jason had been excited about the job. He loved driving. He was saving money for their daughter's college. The wife said Jason was cautious. He followed all the rules. He would not take risks. Garrett asked if Jason had mentioned any problems before he disappeared. The wife said no, but she remembered something. The night before Jason left, he received a phone call. The call was brief. Jason seemed tense afterward. The wife asked who it was. Jason said it was work. He did not elaborate. Garrett checked Jason's phone records. On September 11th, at 9:47 p.m., Jason received a call from an unknown number. The call lasted 2 minutes. Then Jason called the freight company. He spoke with the dispatcher for 6 minutes. Garrett contacted the dispatcher. She said Jason had asked about the cargo. He wanted to know if the company had increased security. The dispatcher said yes. They installed audio recorders. Jason seemed satisfied. He said he would be careful. The dispatcher did not think much of it. Garrett traced the unknown number. It was a prepaid phone, purchased in Sacramento, California. No name attached. The phone was used only 3 times. Once to call Jason, twice to call a trucking company in Nevada. Garrett contacted the Nevada company. They said the number belonged to a former employee, a man named Trevor Lang. Trevor had quit in August 2018. The company did not know where he was now. Garrett tracked Trevor down. He was living in Arizona. He worked at a warehouse. Garrett called him. Trevor said he remembered calling Jason. They had worked together years ago. Trevor said he wanted to warn Jason. Trevor had heard rumors. A theft ring was targeting trucks carrying electronics. Trevor thought Jason should be careful. Garrett asked if Trevor knew who was running the ring. Trevor said no, just rumors. Garrett thanked him. He wondered if the rumors were true. Garrett returned to the audio file. He listened to it again. He focused on the background sounds, the metal scraping, the door, the voices. He sent the file to a specialist. The specialist enhanced the audio. The voices became clearer. Not words, but tones. One voice was calm, steady. The other was agitated, higher pitched. The specialist said the calm voice belonged to a man, likely in his 40s. The agitated voice also belonged to a man, younger, maybe 20s or 30s. Garrett wondered who the men were and how they got inside the trailer. The seal was intact. That meant the trailer had been opened and resealed, but the seal number matched. Garrett contacted the seal manufacturer. They confirmed the seal was genuine, but they mentioned something. Seals could be removed without breaking. Using a heat gun, the plastic would soften. The seal could be slipped off, then reapplied. It was rare, but possible. Garrett wondered if someone had done that. Garrett checked the rest area near Redding. He drove there. He spoke with the manager. The manager said the rest area had been renovated in 2020. Security cameras were installed then, but in 2018 there were no cameras. The manager could not help. Garrett walked the parking area. He tried to imagine what happened. Jason arrived around 8:30 p.m. He parked. He went to sleep. Sometime after midnight, someone approached the trailer. They opened it. They climbed inside. They did something. Then they left. Jason never knew, or he knew, and could not stop them. Garrett contacted other drivers who had been at the rest area in September 2018. He found 3. One driver said he arrived around midnight on September 12th. He saw a white van parked near a semi. The van had no markings. The driver thought it was odd. Work vans usually had company logos. The driver did not approach. He used the restroom and left. The semi was still there. Another driver said she arrived around 3 a.m. on September 13th. She saw the same semi. The van was gone. The semi's hazard lights were on. She thought the driver was taking a break. She left around 5 a.m. The semi was still there. A third driver said he arrived around 7 a.m. on September 13th. The semi was gone, but he saw tire tracks in the gravel, fresh, leading from the parking spot toward the exit. The driver thought the semi had left, but he noticed something. The tracks were deep, like the trailer was heavy, fully loaded. The driver did not think much of it. He continued his route. Garrett thanked the drivers. He reviewed the timeline. Jason parked around 8:30 p.m. The white van arrived around midnight. The van left by 3 a.m. The semi left around 6 a.m., but Jason never checked in. Garrett wondered what happened between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. Garrett checked traffic camera footage from September 13th, 2018. The State Patrol provided archived files. Garrett reviewed hours of recordings. At 6:23 a.m. a semi matching Jason's description was captured, heading north on Interstate 5. The license plate was visible. It matched Jason's truck, but Garrett could not see the driver. The cab windows were tinted. The semi exited the interstate at mile marker 738, near the Oregon border. Garrett checked the location. Mile marker 738 was close to a truck stop. Garrett drove there. The truck stop manager checked old records. On September 13, 2018, a semi matching Jason's description had fueled up at 7:14 a.m. The fuel was paid with cash. The manager did not remember the driver. Garrett asked if the truck stop had security cameras. The manager said they did, but the footage was stored for only 6 months. It was gone. Garrett felt frustrated. He was chasing ghosts. Garrett returned to the audio file. He listened one more time. Near the end of the recording, he heard something new, a voice, clearer than before. The calm voice said, "Lock it, make sure," then footsteps, then silence. Garrett wondered what they locked. The trailer doors, something else. He examined the trailer again. He checked every surface, every joint. Near the front wall, he found something. A small hatch, about 2 feet square. It was painted to match the wall, almost invisible. Garrett pried it open. Inside was a compartment, hidden, empty now. But Garrett could see marks on the floor, rectangular impressions, like boxes had been stacked there. Garrett measured the compartment. It could hold about 20 boxes, small ones. Garrett checked the cargo manifest. The servers were large. 60 units would fill the trailer, but 20 small boxes could fit in the hidden compartment. Garrett wondered what was in those boxes. He contacted the freight company. He asked if they knew about the compartment. The company said no. Trailers sometimes had hidden spaces, used for smuggling, but the company did not install them. Someone else did. Garrett ran a background check on Jason. Clean record, no debts, no criminal history. But Garrett found something. Jason's truck had been purchased, used in 2017. The previous owner was a man named Dale Kepner. Dale had been arrested in 2016 for smuggling cigarettes across state lines. He was released on probation. His truck was seized. It was auctioned. Jason bought it. Garrett wondered if the hidden compartment was Dale's work, or if it was there before. Garrett tracked Dale down. He was living in California. He worked at a body shop. Garrett called him. Dale said he remembered the truck. He admitted he installed the compartment. He used it to hide cigarettes. He avoided taxes. He made good money. Until he got caught. Dale said he sold the truck at auction. He did not tell the buyer about the compartment. Garrett asked if Dale knew Jason. Dale said no. They never met. Garrett asked if Dale knew who might use the compartment after him. Dale said no, but he mentioned something. The compartment was clever. Most people would not find it, unless they knew where to look. Dale said he had shown it to a few people. Friends, mechanics, people in the business. Garrett asked for names. Dale gave him 5. Garrett ran background checks. 3 had criminal records: theft, fraud, smuggling. 1 name stood out: Kurt Willis. He had been arrested in 2017 for cargo theft. Charges were reduced. He served 6 months, released in 2018. Garrett checked Kurt's address. He lived in Sacramento, the same city where the prepaid phone was purchased. Garrett drove to Sacramento. He knocked on Kurt's door. No answer. Neighbors said Kurt moved out in 2019. No forwarding address. Garrett checked Kurt's employment records. In 2018, Kurt worked for a logistics company. The company specialized in electronics. Garrett contacted the company. The manager said Kurt had been a driver, but he was fired in September 2018 for violating company policy. He was caught tampering with a trailer. The manager did not press charges. He just let Kurt go. Garrett asked what kind of tampering. The manager said Kurt was seen opening a trailer that was not his. Kurt claimed he was checking the cargo. The manager did not believe him. Garrett asked if the company had records of which trailer. The manager checked. The trailer belonged to Jason Merrill. Garrett felt a surge of adrenaline. Kurt had accessed Jason's trailer, probably in Los Angeles. Before Jason left, Kurt must have loaded the hidden compartment. With what? Garrett contacted electronics suppliers in Los Angeles. He asked if they had any theft reports from September 2018. One supplier said yes. 20 high-end graphics cards were stolen from their warehouse on September 11th. The cards were worth $50,000. The theft was never solved. Garrett asked for a description. The cards came in small boxes, about the size of a shoebox. 20 would fit in the hidden compartment. Garrett concluded Kurt had stolen the graphics cards. He loaded them into Jason's trailer. He planned to retrieve them later. But something went wrong. Garrett reviewed the timeline. Jason left Los Angeles on September 12th. He stopped at the rest area near Redding. Kurt must have followed him, or Kurt sent someone. The white van. Around midnight the van arrived. 2 men got out. They opened the trailer. They removed the seal carefully. They climbed inside. They retrieved the graphics cards from the hidden compartment. The audio recorder captured their footsteps. The men did not know about the recorder. They resealed the trailer. They left. Jason never knew. But Jason did not arrive in Portland. Garrett wondered why. He checked the fuel receipt. Jason fueled up at 7:14 a.m. That was after the theft. Jason should have continued to Portland, but he did not. Garrett checked traffic cameras again. The semi was last seen exiting at mile marker 738. Garrett drove to the exit. He followed the road. It led to a small industrial park. Garrett checked businesses in the park. One was a storage facility. Garrett contacted the manager. The manager checked records. In September 2018, a semi matching Jason's description was stored in Unit 22. The account was under the name Kurt Willis. The first month was paid in cash. After that the payments stopped. The facility sent notices. No response. Eventually they put a lien on the truck, but they never auctioned it. The facility changed ownership in 2020. The new owner moved the truck to a different facility, in Boise, where it was found. Garrett realized Kurt had taken Jason's truck. But where was Jason? Garrett organized a search of the area around the industrial park. They used dogs and radar. After 2 days they found something. A shallow grave in a wooded area behind the park. Inside were human remains. The medical examiner confirmed the identity through dental records. It was Jason Merrill. The cause of death was asphyxiation. The examiner said Jason had been suffocated, likely with a plastic bag. The examiner estimated the time of death as September 13, 2018. Early morning. Garrett reviewed the evidence. Kurt had stolen the graphics cards. He loaded them into Jason's trailer. Jason unknowingly transported them. Kurt sent 2 men to retrieve the cards at the rest area. But Kurt worried Jason might discover the theft or report the tampering. Kurt decided to eliminate Jason. Kurt followed Jason to the truck stop. When Jason fueled up, Kurt approached. Kurt told Jason there was a problem with the cargo. Kurt convinced Jason to drive to the industrial park. Jason complied. At the park, Kurt killed Jason. Kurt stored the truck. He planned to sell it later, but he never did. The truck sat for 7 years. Garrett issued a warrant for Kurt's arrest. The FBI added him to their most wanted list. 4 months later, Kurt was arrested in Mexico. He was using a fake name, working at a repair shop. Garrett flew to Mexico. He interviewed Kurt. Kurt denied everything, but forensic evidence tied him to the crime. His fingerprints were in Jason's cab. His DNA was on the plastic bag used to suffocate Jason. Kurt's lawyer negotiated a plea deal. Kurt admitted to the theft and the murder. He said he panicked. He thought Jason would report him. He could not go back to prison, so he killed him. Kurt said he regretted it, but the regret came too late. Kurt was extradited to Idaho. He was charged with murder, theft, and conspiracy. He was tried and convicted. He was sentenced to life without parole. Jason's wife attended the trial. She testified about Jason. She said he was a good man. He worked hard. He loved his family. He did not deserve to die. The jury agreed. After the verdict, the wife thanked Garrett. She said, knowing the truth helped, even if it did not bring Jason back. Garrett said Jason had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. He had been used by someone he did not know, and it cost him everything. Garrett closed the case, but he kept thinking about the audio file. The 17 minutes of footsteps. The 2 men walking inside a sealed trailer. The voices saying lock it. The hidden compartment. The recorder that captured everything. Garrett wondered how many other trailers had hidden spaces. How many drivers transported cargo they did not know about. How many crimes went undetected because no one thought to check. He requested an audit of all trailers used by the freight company. They found 12 more compartments, all hidden, all empty now. But who knew what they had carried? Some mysteries solve themselves when a machine records what people thought was secret. Footsteps in a sealed space, voices in the dark, a driver who trusted the wrong load.